Summoning one of their feather tokens, the protectors of the pass boarded their rock steed and flew to the hag's hut in the swamp. Arriving, they witnessed 3 witch-like women patrolling the home. While Winry and Rayland approached stealthily, Jack engaged the women in conversation while Bryn and Myetharia took up positions to defend. Becoming flustered, Jack ran out of words and simply attacked the hags, kicking off combat. The hags quickly summoned shambling skeletons to their side. Outnumbered, the protectors were in a tight spot. Looking for options, Rayland unlocked one of the many locked huts in the hag's campsite and found within a chained woman in a red dress. Unlocking her manacles, the woman leapt into action, delivering a fireball that turned the tide of battle. The woman introduced herself as Katrina, the sister of the gate pass thief Rantel, who had requested the protectors keep an eye out for her. The battle turning in their favor, the party quickly mopped up the skeletons, the hags, and their pet alligator, and the boggy swamp once again fell quiet and peaceful. Then after that, in chat, the protectors decided to continue searching the swamps before night fell, trying to find the goblins that were rumored to also be in league, potentially with the witches, and causing issues with trade. And eventually, they found the witches, or the goblins, and while Jack and Myetharia approached to discuss, everyone else hung back to see how things would shake out.
Not even eventually, like immediately, because of some pretty impressive rolling. But yes, Jack and Myetharia entered the ruins, and as you get in, you notice that the white stone ruins that appeared to be crumbling and entangled with vines are well kept up. Standing in the center of the ruins, along with a handful of other goblins, next to a flowing fountain from what appears to be a crystalline vase, is a green-skinned goblin with leathers and feathers who's shaking her head slightly at your approach. You can see from the surrounding ruins that there are a number of other goblins in defensive positions with bows as well, but she greets you openly and without obvious weapon. I really didn't want to go crazy with a voice. I really didn't. But I feel like I got built up for a voice against my will.
I was just playing, man. You don't have to.
My name is Hesselan of the Severed Head Tribe. And after Jack's introduction of the caravans being raided, she simply states, your caravans have strayed into Severed Head Tribe lands, and therefore have been subject to our acquisition. This is and has been our land. She looks a little uncomfortable, though, in her delivery, glancing over her shoulder now and then, as though expecting someone else to be there.
Yeah, and you had also mentioned, I don't remember who rolled the high insight, but she also seemed like she was kind of forced into this speaking for the group position. Somewhat.
Perhaps. Or at least that she seemed uncomfortable.
I'm gonna lean over to almost said Rob. Wow. I'm gonna lean over to
That's
Jack
me.
and that's you. Kind of speak quietly in Elvish and just say, perhaps they're concerned about the witches or hags. I would assume that they do not know if they are in league with them, if they are dead yet.
Back in Elvish, I will say, I'll be sure to mention it. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the last thing I said. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that was to Myetharia. Okay. Well, Justin, can you remind me of her name?
Hesselin.
Okay. Well, Lady Hesselin, we have come into the swamps here, the forest here, looking to find those responsible for stopping caravans from traveling into Seaquen. We were told that both potentially witches and goblins may have some collusion in these activities. We met the witches on the other side of the swamp that go by the name of Han Andrea. They were not keen to...
He growls slightly at the name.
They were not keen to broker a solution or really come peacefully in any way. And we had discovered that they were, in fact, butchering and using dead people in some nefarious and disgusting practice. And we, unfortunately, they are no more and not part of the equation. So we continue to search the swamps looking for goblins.
You killed these hags?
We did. It was unfortunate, and I wish that we could have found.
Not unfortunate. Very good.
Why do you say this?
They're pests. They don't respect the land. Our land.
Have you had dealings with these witches before?
Few here and there. Yes.
Well, they are dealt with.
Good.
However, sorry. However, potentially the issue that we are sent out to correct is still not corrected. You see, the caravans that travel through here, they're headed for Seaquen, which is a town nearby. I'm sure you know of it. It wouldn't be maybe as big of an issue normally, but Seaquen has nearly, I would say, tripled in size from masses of refugees that have fled other countries and other wars to find peace. As the caravans don't arrive, soon people will start to starve. And, well, death will likely follow. And we wish to avoid that in any way possible.
You speak lots of words without really asking. Let us cut to the chase.
Sorry. These last little bits, all I'm hearing is Yoda.
I know, right? I am too now. I thought of it after I started. I was like, oh, man,
oh damn
really
it.
bad.
I think it sounds
you
like
seek a stretch, a path for travel. Yes?
Sure. That would make sense.
We can dictate a path for you on a map, but we require returns.
Okay.
A few magical items, perhaps, might be useful. Perhaps a candle that always burns.
Oi.
A fishhook that needs no bait.
Okay.
And a bell that alarms for intruders.
These are very specific items that you request.
We also request a cook for the chieftain to produce exotic foods. And the last you've already finished, but the death of the wishes. So, well done there. Finally, I can't sign any deals. You'll need to track down my husband. His name is Ogatar. And she looks really embarrassed. He ran away when your bird came over. He's a little scared of the mages. And seeing your disc, he assumed the worst. So, any treaty will have to be agreed upon by him.
Okay.
Would you take 50 platinum instead?
I'm getting there.
Not too onerous, I hope.
Well,
Not for a city of mages, certainly.
I can see what we can do. We did come across a stash of platinum at the witch's abode that we would be happy to part with for you and your people.
But they won't let us in the town. What use would the money be?
You have, well, if we're speaking frankly, it seems as though you are in fact the group that have been harassing these caravans and raiding them, yes?
We've taken a few. She looks stiff.
Well, is it safe then to assume that you have a store of supplies from those caravans that you maybe would like to sell?
What are you offering?
If we can get you and some of your people permission to enter the town, to do trading, to trade your wares, I believe that we would all find that to be in each other's best interests. The supplies that the town needs would then be available to them, and the mages, I'm sure, would be happy to trade either gold and supplies or possibly these items that you're looking for. I believe that would serve all of our best interests.
If you can come back with assurances and some, you said a coffer. They've got money?
Indeed.
And the cook. We need the cook. But the rest of the items, sure. We can agree to that.
Well, as a sign of good faith, and I'll take the platinum out and offer it to her, I'll say, as a forward and sign of good faith, here is the platinum that we had discussed.
She kind of looks at it, kind of picks one up and tries to flex it and kind of bites it for a second. Says, interesting. Well, perhaps I can offer a sign of good faith as well. And she walks over to the nearby fountain that I'd described before. And she takes off from the top of it the crystalline flask from it. And by writing it back right side up, it no longer is flowing water out of it. You realize that it was not actually a true fountain. It was just a item. And she says, we have plenty of water. You might need this, though, with your many people. She gives you a decanter. Well, I need to get the name right. A decanter of water, it's called.
Beautiful. Well,
of endless water, sorry.
So is it, does she hand that to us?
Yes. She takes it off, and she will, in exchange for the box of platinum that you have given her, she will take that item and hand it to you and say, let this be the start of good faith on our end.
When she hands it out, I'll reach out to take it, and I'll kind of like gently take her same hand and like clutch it and say, these are very good terms. I'm glad that we can find a solution without bloodshed. This is very good.
Not many people would bargain with us. Normally, they try to kill us. So, let it just... We're happy to. We like our home.
Well, good. I like your home too. This seems like a very nice place for you folks. And I hope that you get to stay here for many years to come.
Don't forget the cook.
Cook is very important. The cook is very important.
Essential to this deal.
It was an absolute pleasure, Lady I can't read my own handwriting. Hesselin?
Hesselin.
It was very, very wonderful to meet you. My absolute pleasure, and I hope that we can consider each other friends.
I hope so. Just remember, the assurances and the cook.
Indeed. We will return.
We shall draw up a map.
Beautiful. Well, have a good evening, and we will be back as soon as we can.
As you start to walk away, you see some of the goblins who are still watching you. They start to climb down from the trees and go towards the middle. And you realize that very few of them actually understood what was happening, as she starts speaking in Goblin behind you to the rest of them, explaining what was just going on and trying to talk about drawing up this path and making sure that she's getting paper, this sort of thing, so she can figure this all out for you.
As a show of intimidation for fun, I'm going to take the bird and guide it to then just like pluck Jack and Myetharia up, but like within sight of them still. Like
there's some scurrying and yelling and some frantic screaming from the goblins as
she comes in
to get close.
She comes in. I'm like, no, ah! No.
Just like, oh no.
There's just like this frantic mass of goblins scurrying under shelters and around walls.
I just want to say my persuasion roll with advantage was 21. Thank you for asking me to roll it.
Whenever you ask him to roll, it's going to be a 1. Whenever you don't, it's
I rolled
good.
a 7.
Perfect.
I rolled a 7 and a 15.
Well, lucky for you, she didn't need much persuading.
I like
she was
that.
actually perfectly happy to accept terms that you brought to the table.
Look at us doing things without fighting. I'm so proud of us.
I will say, as Jack heads back, he is smiling broadly and is very pleased.
Here, Ryan, this is for you. Just so you can see. I'll take off the...
Gosh, I really didn't want to fight
you're in the
them.
encampment.
Good job, Myetharia.
Oh,
You can see some of them, but
What am I looking for?
I was just going to try to show you that there's like 20 goblins here for you that you guys could have had a good time partying
Very good time partying, yeah.
It
Ryan's
would have been
always,
so sad now that we know one of
Yeah.
them. Like,
Ryan's always talking about enjoying the visceral aspect of just bodies on the floor everywhere, and that would have been that kind of fight for you.
Yeah.
Well, plus,
Can you take me back to the map? I didn't get a look at it. I was
Oh, sorry.
I was on Discord looking for it.
plus we had Katrina, who
yeah.
could have been just bombing fools.
Oh, this would have been.
She actually,
I know.
I mean, I speak for her if you want, but she's used a lot of her spells too. I mean, she dropped 2 fireballs already.
I'm
Yeah.
sure she's got a little bit more in her tank. Regardless,
That was interesting.
as we're walking, I guess
There are
as we're walking
21
back,
goblins on that map.
Yikes.
as we're walking back to the rock, I'm going to just like grab Myetharia and give her a huge hug and say, "That went great."
Yes, good job. That was certainly unique of a situation. I honestly... I don't know what I expected. Although I don't think I expected that. Well done.
I wouldn't
Thanks.
cross those out. Just write those or. a deal to.
Well, I can still read them through what I crossed out.
Yeah.
So we need to find her husband. Should we start with that?
I think maybe he'll be there when we come back. We just can't come back on a bird.
And we need to come back
Right.
with
So intimidating.
secured
Requirements.
rights for them to enter the town to trade.
And a chef, evidently, as well. On fancy food. Fancy
Well,
feasts.
I'd like my own personal chef, but not everyone gets one.
Why
I bet
can't
we
they
can-
just teach one of their own to cook?
That's an idea.
Maybe they will.
Ooh,
but
yeah,
they
good.
need
Yeah.
someone to start.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Then someone doesn't have to move there.
Yes, how rare is that going to be to find somebody who wants to leave their home
They're not-
to
Yeah.
live with goblins and cook food for them?
Are these goblins going to leave our people alone while we try to get this stuff for them?
That's a good
I think
point,
that
actually.
she understands that our relationship is tenuous, and we could both not get what each other wants. This is part of diplomacy, and I think she understands that.
Well,
seemed logical.
it's going to be
which,
harder. It's going to be harder to convince the mayor to. Is it the mayor? Who's the person who runs the town again?
The magistrate, I think it is.
It's going to be more. Or Vorb is Vorb the guy?
Yep.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to convince Vorb to let these goblins into Seaquen with them rooting all our stuff.
Yes.
Well,
But how else were they supposed to live? They need
Well,
to
one
survive
thing-
somehow.
one thing at a time. Now we get to leave with the caravans not being raided currently, and no one had to die. I'm going to call this a big win for the day, guys.
Yeah, we killed the right people. We killed the hags. Not
Yes.
the goblins. Killing the hags made everyone happy.
That's true.
Definitely has.
I didn't
Except for the
love
hags.
I didn't love it, but
You started it.
yeah, but I was hoping it would be more like a disarming sort of thing, but it's
Thought
okay.
you disarm people with magic.
Yeah, we had opportunity to. They were frozen in place. We could have manacled them, but it's okay. I understand sometimes that's not the way things go. We just do our best with what's in front of us.
Mm-hmm. Optimism sometimes. I sometimes forget. Your
She made a very
tendencies-
strong whiskey drink and it very burns the nose.
It's not like I farted or anything.
Yeah, that's why I said it. I thought I should clarify. Sorry, Becca.
No, you're good. You're good. I sometimes forget your extreme tendencies toward optimism.
Well, someone has to.
That's not entirely true, but sure.
All right, let's get back to town.
Yes. Still have some daylight. Oh, we don't have daylight anymore, do we?
No.
I
The
fly
sun
the
is
bird.
basically set by now.
Back to town.
That's what I figured was that it was.
I'd
either
go like
sunset or
out
just
over the
ended.
water so it's clearer, unless it's super windy because of the storm.
Oh,
So the storms are not storms per se, but at this point,
Constant drizzle.
yeah, it's just like a constant rainy drizzle that's always there with a light wind. Nothing too exceptional. Basically, it's just a bath for everybody as you're on your way in and out. How long does the disc last for?
great question.
It's a good question. I hope it doesn't go out over the water.
I mean, it's more of just a flavor aspect
It's an
in this
hour.
particular case, but probably halfway, or well, before you get started again, you'd have to recast it.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
fine.
Most of the way back, you might have to take a pit stop in order to refresh the duration of said disc. But without too much of an issue, over the next little bit over an hour, you guys make your way back to the town of Seaquen.
The city of
City
town.
of Town of Seaquen.
I wasn't sure. I think it's called a town technically, but
Yeah. It's a decanter of endless water.
Yep,
Yeah, he
I
said
actually
it.
corrected myself when I said it.
Oh.
Pay
The
attention.
fuck attention.
Well, it is a little after 7:30-ish o'clock at night at this point in time. What would you guys like to do, if anything, for the rest of the evening?
Lorb's probably closed, so and our meetings are at 2.
Lorb.
Lorb?
Lorb
Lorb
Vortberg.
That's
Vortberg.
right. That's right.
Lord with an L?
Lorb.
He was
Yeah,
not
Lorb.
blessed.
I thought it was with a V.
Yeah, me too.
Is it Lord? Mort?
Lorb.
Justin's like, how many
Lorb
times do I gotta write
Vort
him guys'
Bird.
Bird.
Oh, it's Lord? Lorb?
Lorb.
No.
Lorb.
Oh my gosh, everyone.
His,
Wow.
his title is not Lord.
No, for the third time.
No,
Here
if
it is
his
again,
title was
everyone.
if his
In
title was
chat.
Lord, he'd be Lorb Vortberg.
Lord.
Now I
Lord.
want him to be a lord.
I know, right?
Justin, I'm gonna ask every session. I'm gonna get started this every session.
Perfect.
40 sessions down the road. What was his name one more time?
Yeah, what was that?
He died when Seaquen was destroyed. Why you asking?
We're not even Seaquen anymore. Yeah, we're like somewhere. We're
Yeah.
in Casey. That's just like. I wonder what Vorb's up to.
He
He's
was
our
my favorite.
He's our shit. What was the name of the tree? The tree ant just Orion?
Barkus. Gosh, I love
Barkus. He's our Barkus of this campaign.
Except
No.
we can't remember Bargus's name.
absolutely. A big
Anything
hero.
for you guys that you would
Go
like to do
to
the rest of the
sleep.
evening?
I'll start. I'm gonna whittle some stuff. I'm just gonna whittle.
Yeah, just work out and then sleep.
I'm gonna work out.
Oh,
Okay.
actually,
I gave you vigilant.
I did not talk to
and then you used it.
Myetharia about this, but if she's gonna work out, so I'm gonna whittle a little bit and like probably nearby as Myetharia is like,
Okay.
and then you know what? I'll save it for another time. But you'll notice that I have a bigger piece of
Of wood? I'm sorry.
Needs to be much wider for Myetharia.
Is Myetharia training with like wooden swords right now or actual swords?
No, I've put it. I've
Sorry, team.
no, I was there with
Children.
you all the way, Steph. No, I've attached like some weights to my swords that I do have. So I'm still working with the same feel. They're just heavier. That's all.
Trying to. You know what? I'll wait this time. I think this time he'll just watch while he's whittling. He'll watch her.
Well,
Not
this sounds
freaked
like a
out.
perfect segue for me in order to say it is time for us to roll
Oh.
for our feat learning.
Okay.
Okay.
What do we roll again?
For you, it is a wisdom check.
It's charisma for me.
What was mine?
So I
Dexterity
just-
or?
Not the
Yours- yes.
saving. Not the saving throw, just the what my wisdom is +3.
Why?
I still
Every
totally
roll.
have advantage on charisma check.
No.
11.
I rolled a 20.
You rolled a 20. All
Woohoo!
19. Plus 4.
right, hold on. Let's start at the top.
Hold up.
Bryn.
11.
Bryn with an 11, you have hit exactly 40, and therefore have finished your first feat. If you would like to explain it, I know that we can go over it once to make sure everyone is aware of it.
With my training better and healing and everything like that, when I heal you, I can reroll ones.
Ooh,
That's helpful.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
So it's great weapon master except for healing.
Yeah, exactly.
great
It's
healing
great healing
master.
master.
Great heal master.
Really cool. I like that.
Jack, what's yours? Your roll.
Natural 20
Oh
for a
my
23 total.
Gosh.
Well, Jack, you've passed the 50 that was the bar for your first feat as well, if you would like to explain it to everybody.
So mine is what's the actual feat called, Justin? Do you remember? I'll have to look it up. It's a barbarian feat.
Intimidating presence.
Intimidating presence.
What?
So I essentially have.
Don't you remember this incredibly wonderful introduction that Jack gave this the first time?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Remember it was sexual, but I don't remember anything else about it.
It was real gross. It was real gross.
Oh, that's right.
So we can go ahead and just move past that. So I essentially have the feat, the barbarian feat, intimidating presence. I can use an action to fright, or do we decide it's a bonus action, Justin, or an action?
I wrote it how it is. Action.
You use your action to frighten someone with your menacing presence. When you do so, creature within 30 feet of you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened of you until the end of your next turn. So my goal with this was to be able to cause someone to see me in a frightening light. So I have an opportunity to first talk them down, and then if they're not interested in being talked down, I can scare them down and hopefully stop them from fighting.
Okay. Interesting.
There you go.
I thought of my next one, but I
Hold
forgot.
Well, you don't need it this second. Don't worry about it.
It was. I think
Myetharia.
it was in the last session.
I rolled a 7, so 10 total.
10 total? All right.
Yep.
You're getting closer. You're about halfway done with yours.
Yeah, I've been rolling really bad on all of them, so seeing a 7 pop up was really sad for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rayland.
20 total.
Wow.
I
Very
actually,
nice.
I don't think I'm working towards anything yet, though.
You
Just
had
rolling.
something, but I haven't officially written it up yet.
You
Okay,
are
yeah.
into Winry right now, but you had an idea with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that might be a little broken right now. Although I don't really have anything. I guess I'm just like whittling some really nice pieces of like art. Honestly, just beautiful.
Even if you're not going to go flavorful with it, I was still going to give you your progress towards it unless you want to use it for something else.
Can I have it?
I have it.
Because if you want, I can put a value to your roll, so to speak, for a whittling project that you've completed.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking I would do until Winry and Rayland are on the end, or if I got to talk to Becca about an idea with Myetharia. But I don't know if I'll do like, yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll say like, with that roll, maybe it'll be assigned a value, and the project that I'm whittling is like a very ornately. You know what? Let's go with the bird, like kind of a bird cage. And I'd like to. I mean, maybe this is like too advanced. So maybe I need another roll or two with this. But like, what if I whittled like a bird cage with a bird inside of it, like a wooden bird,
That'd be really cool.
in the shape of the rock that we've been riding around on, like the.
So you've had like the last week roughly to start working on this, and then like continue working on it. So I mean, even just from being here, you've had almost 3 days of being here. So if you wanted to have like, I'm using this role as like the last week roughly of travel time and downtime. So you've spent time this entire time. It doesn't have to be one session making this whittling project.
I've been hanging out, just like trying to get the shape of the bird cage down, and kind of like now I'm at the point now where like the outside of the bird cage, like it's not straight bars. Like I kind of want them to have this like curved effect if I can do it. You know, maybe like I don't know how skilled I am at this yet, but you know, so like a little bit of a curved effect, and I'm kind of like getting the knife in through the wooden bars, and I'm like kind of scratching away at what looks to be a bird inside of this cage, with its arms kind of like this. Oh.
Sure. I mean, this is entirely your flavor here. I'm all on board.
Oh shit! Actually, it's not the rock. It's a hawk.
Rock.
Hockey.
It's a hawk. It's a hawk in the. No, it's different. Remember, Rayland has a red tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. So, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that, right?
What?
All right. Winry,
Robbie,
you're last.
Robbie, you remember that?
23.
No.
Wow. You've almost... I don't remember why I gave yours that value.
Do you remember what it is?
I do. I want to make sure, because I feel like I overvalued it. No, I'm fine with it. You're almost done with yours, though. You're at 50 of 60 on yours.
Nice.
So, very nice, everyone. And with this downtime, you guys get to bed on time. Have a nice, restful night's sleep as much as you would like to. You guys can feel free to take a long rest at this point in time.
That's me. Long rest.
And you will wake up once more in the early morning hours of the 26th of Kalari as the rains and drizzle continues once more throughout the day.
Ooh, I got a pick spell. Shit, I don't want to take a long rest.
Shit.
Shit.
Alright, can't show us.
So you have until 2 o'clock if you guys would like to kind of putter about town or get anything done.
Well, I assume that the best people to talk to about the deal that we made. Oh no, we gotta go talk to Lorb about this. So polling everybody. Do we think that we should talk to Magistrate Lorb about what we discussed with the goblins, or should we speak with the Lyceum council members first? And kind of with their blessing, go to Lord with this information. That might give our argument a little more teeth.
I think we should start with Lorb to gauge his reaction, and then if he's a little cranky about it, then when we do our meeting, we can ask them after the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to Lorb. The magistrate or the mages will be aloof.
Fair enough.
Lorb might want us to go the route of the items, and so then we can ask the
help, yeah.
The Lyceum to help make those items so that...
Fair enough.
I don't see why we have to tell him about the items, but yes.
Well, it's like an either or. If he's like, oh, a candle that always burns, here you go, then that's something. So
water walk.
I will go to well, turned out so is water breathing, but they'll both come in handy at some point. I'm going to go speak to the magistrate to let him know the deal that we struck with the goblins. If anyone would like to join me, I think I'll take care of that post haste.
With our money from the hags, what would we like to do? I believe I had mentioned in chat. I do have the ability to bring us back from being unconscious, from being dead if you're killed, but it requires diamonds worth 300 gold per use. So if that's something that we want to get as a team, I'm able to do that. I wanted to let you guys know, but if we don't feel like that's needed right now, we don't have to.
I'd go in on some diamonds.
I mean, we're looking at what? How many coffers? There were 6 total. We gave 1 to the hag or the goblins, so we still have 2,500 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Divided by 300.
Well, with 300, if we get 1 diamond for each of us, then that would
1,500.
be 1,500. So we'd still have 1,000 left over.
If they even have that.
And I don't even need. I guess technically I don't need diamonds for me because you guys can't bring me back.
That's true.
Unless I just have extra just in case.
So that'd be 1,200 then.
Yeah. Which sounds really dark, but it's okay. Like, I understand. It's sort of how it is. I'm a little bit more resilient.
Sure, we would, if that does occur, Bryn, we would do everything we could to find someone to bring you back.
Of course.
So having a diamond then would still be helpful.
Well, how my spell works, it's like I gotta do it quick. So taking me to someone to be revived, actually, I don't know, but I don't think it would be the same. I think it'd be a little bit more work.
And beyond that, just to offer so that you guys can maybe understand my motives, part of the reason that I got this ritual of the floating disc was in case any of us were to fall, the floating disc would be able to carry said person to a village nearby. I'm also planning on getting a ritual that would cause the sort of decaying process after death to slow down substantially, which would give us more time to get someone to town. So that's for you, Bryn.
Don't I have that?
I don't know, do you?
Yes,
I don't
she
think
does.
you do.
I'm not going
It's
to
very possible.
Gentle repose. Anyway, so that's the whole story. I think it's very wise for us to get those.
What,
I give
Rayland?
it.
I'm not going to let you die, Bryn.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I try to stay back. I had to go in when we were fighting because I had to be close to get all the skeletons out of the way. But generally, I try to stay back so that I can help you guys. Yeah.
Then maybe I won't do that, am I? Is that always prepared?
No.
Oh. Well, if I had it as a ritual, it would be, and you wouldn't have to keep it prepared. Anyway, okay. So do we want to split up a little bit? Some of us go get diamonds. Some of us go talk to Magistrate Lorb.
We can, Rayland, you and I can go get diamonds and then go get my armor back.
Let's do it.
Well, you are all doing that.
Oh, hey,
thank you.
Katrina.
Hey, yeah. Actually, Katrina,
Good
I'm
morning.
working on picking out my spells, but I was thinking of sending. Would you like me to send a message to your brother to let him know that he's okay, or do you not care?
I think that's something I can take care of on our own. I'll figure it out myself. You've gotten me here. This is where I needed to be. Now it's on me to make it matter.
Well, we look
I
forward
mean, we
to
loved
seeing
having you. It was very helpful.
Look forward to seeing the difference you make.
Let's see what I can figure out. I'm sure that we'll be in touch again someday.
Of course. For you.
And if you ever are seeking adventure, always use someone with your fiery capabilities on our squad.
We'll see. I more could use potentially some of your help, maybe in the future, but contacts are more useful to me than anything else, than any adventuring that I might do. So,
Certainly.
get the chance. I'd love to have some time for you to introduce me to some people.
See what we can do.
One way or the other, I'll figure it out.
I like your attitude.
I'll be singing your praises to whoever I can find. Thank you once more.
Ditto.
Remember, we are
Protectors
the
of the
protectors
past.
of the past.
Of course. Thank you. And she'll head off towards the more central areas of Lyceum Compound.
That was the best. All right, so then Myetharia, Winry, and I go.
Sure, I'll tag along with them.
Nope, I'm gonna go to the other way.
Oh,
But-
wafers.
Lagging behind, not the Wayfarers,
No.
with Bryn and
Rayland.
yeah, but lagging behind and trying to look out for interesting doodads.
Sure. While you
Doohickeys.
do that, then make an investigation check for me.
Rayland stabbing Bryn.
Why
right
is my
back.
investigation so bad?
Because it's intelligence based.
And I'm not very
Ooh,
smart.
that felt like this.
13.
Okay.
Oh yeah, man.
As you kind of looking around town and this sort of thing, you start to see or pick out like discussions or stories. And eventually you see a man walk by. It's kind of a roguish looking man. Looks like he might be a part of the more criminal elements a little bit. But he's walking around with something hidden under like a shroud at first. And he's kind of walking around to different shops and places like this. And it looks like he's trying to offer it around to people. And as you kind of get a little bit intrigued, you can notice your cat senses kind of perking up a little bit about something interesting being trapped in or like hidden from you. You start to catch little glimpses of it, little discussions of it. And this man, his name is Nathan Lowduke, you pick out. And he appears to be carrying what looks like, at least, an oversized egg. It's got slight green veins in it.
Say it again.
Did you just look up
Is
that
it-
guy on lacrosse?
No
Is it-
comment.
Is it large?
It is oversized egg, so it's a little bit over the size of like a grapefruit, perhaps. Probably
It's in
your 2 fists together, roughly in size.
And it's in a case.
Not in a case. He's carrying it with like a shroud on it, like a cloth on top of it.
You said his name was Nathan.
Lowduke.
I will approach him.
He's kind of busy a little bit, but you kind of pick him in between shops and something like this, and he's like, "Yes, what can I do for you?
What you got there?
Why do you ask?"
Because it looks interesting.
Well, what I have here, I'm actually looking to sell, so perhaps it might be of interest to you. If you've got a little bit of money, and he kind of mystically kind of pulls across the shroud slightly to just let you peek at it. And like I said, it looks like a kind of oversized egg with these green veins running through it. And yeah, bigger than a normal egg by a lot. And he says, what I've got here, actually, I was able to acquire a green dragon egg.
Where'd you get it from?
You don't need to worry about where I got it from. What you need to worry about is what it can do for you.
How do you know it's a dragon egg?
Because I got it. What do you want me to say here? I took an egg, and I have every right to take. And now I am selling it. Are you interested in having a dragon of your own?
Are Bryn and Rayland, like, we're too far ahead to catch her drifting
You
off?
could have noticed that she drifted off at least, but not the details of what's happening right now unless you wanted to come back.
All right, actually, yeah. And at that point, I'll stop noticing that she stopped following us, and kind of just look out for her. I mean, I think I'll roll investigation just to make sure, like, you know, whether or not I stopped soon enough to be able to turn around and see her, if that makes sense.
Sure, go for it. Make a roll.
19. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think I stopped and turned around, and now I see her talking to this guy, and I'll like, Bryn.
Yes.
How much are you selling it for?
Well, as you can undoubtedly imagine, this is of countless wealth. I was looking for a sum of perhaps 10,000 gold pieces.
I don't even have. Good thing.
Stab him.
I think Bryn and Rayland are just watching at the moment.
The most I know about dragons is they're pretty dangerous.
That's why it's impressive that I have an egg, is it not?
But why would you want one?
You wouldn't want to have your own dragon?
I wouldn't want to be killed by a dragon.
You'd raise it as your own.
How would it know?
Bryn, do
You
you
know
think
what?
What?
Do you know when it's gonna hatch?
Cannot profess to be the most schooled in the ways of dragon rearing, more in the procurement region than the, breeding or watching or hatching.
She's talking to a guy with an egg.
Should we go interfere?
I don't know. I
I
just
mean,
Listen,
she's
do you
really
have-
just
do you
a
have
wild
money
card.
for this?
I do not have 10,000 pieces of gold.
Well, unfortunate. Maybe someday.
Good luck. And
Anytime.
maybe you should read up more on dragons and before you try to sell this to some poor unexpecting person
Don't-
that's gonna get
I'm
murdered.
telling them what it is. If what they do with it at that point, it's their own fault.
Definitely. Well,
shut up, Meg.
bye. Does it look like it's gonna hatch soon?
Make a nature check.
I love
I'll
this
say with
so much.
disadvantage because you can't investigate it very thoroughly.
Right. Nature isn't gonna be very good.
You could do it.
0. It's an egg, maybe.
Yeah,
You're
you
not
know,
even sure it's an egg.
You've only vaguely seen, other non-chicken eggs. Even that was a little bit of a rarity up in your mountain villages. So
You sit on it. And
you've
keep
really
it
only
warm.
seen, you've really only seen them in terms of breakfast.
Bryn comes over and
idea
is
that
like,
they hatch
Winry, is
is
that what
fine.
you were born from?
We're not that racist.
That's Ricky anyway.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
All right.
I'll join Bryn and Rayland.
You find what you're looking for.
I don't really know what I was looking for, but I don't think it's that.
I'll shrug and then I'll keep walking.
That's amazing.
Well, the shopping crew, you can feel free to purchase any diamonds that you would like at full cost. So
Oh,
you
wait,
can feel free to do that.
As we're going along, where are we shopping at? And the note from
Mine's like, I need names. I need
Yeah,
names.
right? Jeez.
No. I'm asking because of where the note said to meet Nicholas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so that would be down in South Harbor.
Nella Beckus. Nella Cactus. What's his name?
Nella.
Hang on.
Becca Bell.
Hang on.
Nella Beckus.
I got it.
Nevelekis.
Nella Beckus. No, he's right.
Nella. All right. Cool.
That'd be down in South Harbor somewhere. So you don't have an all detailed description of where to be. The note, if I recall, said something to the effect of near a fish market or something like this. Or something. I'd have to go look at exactly what it said.
We're gonna wait until the whole team is there to perform that sting. We're not gonna do that just to ourselves.
That's a good idea. Just in case he's a shady fellow.
Or slippery. I don't
That
want to
too.
lose him.
Well,
Okay,
you guys would probably
diamonds.
be going to, like the Eager Knife or the Tiny Fish, either one.
about
Relatively near Lyceum. What?
Okay. Not the hammer time?
That's
we
more
will
for
to get
weapons and
it.
armor. If you're going to go there for the armor afterwards, then that's fine too. But you wouldn't stock diamonds of that nature.
Oh, hey, while you're there,
So yes, when we're asking for diamonds, we need. May I please have 1,200 gold pieces worth of diamonds? Please and thank you. And then I assume that they give it to us in like little pouches, and I ask for individual ones so that I can make little necklaces like we did last campaign.
that was Orm's idea.
Sure.
Yep, you can have a separate pouch. Although I think it's a single diamond, if I remember correctly, not diamonds.
It was
Yeah, I think
300
it's one.
gold worth. Diamonds worth 300 gold pieces.
Oh, diamonds.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be
Okay.
one, it could be
Oh, yeah.
multiple or
You
pieces.
get a small little pouch then for each of them, a little string of diamonds, basically.
So, is there a way to look at previous threads? Because we had everything that we got for threads.
Yeah, there's threads at the
Archive.
top.
There we go.
Archive.
Stuff.
Yep.
Hey, do you want to ask that guy while you're at that store if he has any use for never mind, a thin spellbook or 2 platinum rings?
I guess we could trade them because I also have a platinum gold chain, or a platinum chain.
I think we have some rings too, don't we? Platinum rings.
Yeah, there's 2 platinum rings.
One other thing you can consider doing is talking to what is the place that we're at, the Tiny Fish? Sorry, I think
Would you have platinum, 2 platinum
we
rings?
could talk to the owner of the Tiny Fish about the items and maybe see if it's possible to get them.
Quickly.
Somebody's ripping interference.
Fine, I can hear it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's who is that? Is that you or me?
Seems like it was Becca.
Yeah.
So
If you wanted to,
2
yes.
platinum rings, thin spellbook, but not the Tyrese.
None of those items that you're looking for are particularly rare. None of them are that weird. It's like an ever-burning candle, for instance, was one of them.
Oh,
This sort of thing. The whole lot of them would probably have cost you a few hundred gold, give or take, maybe somewhere in the range of 500 to 800 gold, as
Oh.
they're mostly just magical trinkets. Nothing that is too rare, nothing that's exceptional. They're very simplistic.
So I guess that's not too bad then. If we can let the team know if some reason Lorb doesn't want to provide the goblins with space to trade, then we can use the rest of the hag's money to get these items for them.
I feel like long term, it is better to give the goblins access to Seaquen so they can trade versus just getting them like a one. You know, teach a goblin how to trade. For forever. I don't know. What's it?
that's it. No.
Give
You get a path for forever.
I think that should be our first step. But if
a goblin
the
can't
rulers in Seaquen fight against us, then we can use the rest of the hag's money too.
I feel like the cook is gonna be the really hard part.
I think we just need to advertise. Maybe we could ask Lorb to put out
The
a
criers,
ad
we
for
need
us.
to find those town criers to figure out how to
A
get
cook
our word
looking
out.
for adventure.
Gourmet cook needed for goblins.
Please.
The goblins promise not to eat you.
If not, hear Justin be like, "Goblin tribe seeks cook. Seek out information.
Apply at magistrate's office.
Culinary skills required."
You don't say the goblin part. You just say cook with adventurous spirit.
For exotic travel.
Or exotic,
This is good. I love it. I really want it.
yeah.
Must have previous goblin experience.
Must be
Knowledge
no
of
reason.
goblin language preferred.
Freaking goblin preferred.
No reason.
Knowledge of goblin cuisine preferred, but not required.
Gosh.
So if you're looking to sell anything else off, let me know what, and I can make sure that you get your prices correct.
So I would
yeah.
say 2 platinum rings and a platinum chain worth 140 gold.
The 2 rings are worth 50 gold pieces each.
That's
So 100 total.
240. So 1,200.
And what was the other one? Sorry, I missed that one.
A platinum chain worth 140 gold.
Oh, well, there you go. It tells you it's worth right there.
Yep.
Looky
So
there.
that's
I think that
240
was-
gold. Are you gonna do like for something or?
No, so things that are actually valued for you are the value that they are. Unless you
Okay.
really want to barter with it, in which case we can do that.
Meh.
But you do run the risk of making it worse for yourself.
So then we'd only pay 960 for the diamond.
Yeah, I thought that potion was from, or potion, that platinum
It was like
chain
from
was
the
from the Inquisitor
Red
fight.
Armband. Yeah, something like that.
It's from Smiley.
Poor Smiley. He doesn't smile anymore.
So we have 1,540 left between us from the hag stuff.
Cool.
Well, Jack, in the meantime, while they're still negotiating all of this, you
take the
went to
platinum
go
chain.
see Lorb instead.
Did anybody put the platinum rings in their inventory?
No, they were just written down in chat just so we knew that we had them.
Oh my heavens, people. Okay, guess I gotta do this job now.
Official
You did-
bookkeeper.
You did it last time there, Laura Bailey.
140. I make the nasty jokes like her, so I
You
might as well
sure
do
do.
that.
With Jack, right?
What?
Myetharia went with Jack, right?
Yes.
Okay. The two of
Unless
you
you
both,
didn't. I can talk to him.
The two of you
No,
both
I did.
arrive
Yeah.
at the magistrate's office and in short order are shown within, where the familiar dwarven man, Magistrate Lorb Vortbird, sits behind his desk as the reigns continue. Says, "Well, what do I owe the pleasure today?"
So, just in service of time, I will explain everything that happened. Explain how he killed the witches, and how he met with the goblins and their terms. And I believe that giving these goblins access to trading in Seaquen would be in everyone's best interest. We'd be able to recollect the supplies that have been lost and gain potential trading partners.
You know? Wasn't so sure at first, but if we can keep them to South Harbor, I feel like perhaps this is a very manageable deal.
I believe so too. And the other option is that we kill all the goblins, and that's a horrible option. The loss
No.
of life is dreadful.
And then something else would undoubtedly move in too. Probably
Exactly.
just as annoying.
Something perhaps even worse. Correct.
So, perhaps we work with them instead. As long as we can keep them to South Harbor. Just about anything trades down there anyway, so it won't be a problem. But a chef, you say?
Yes.
Yes, and they also asked that they have permission in writing of some kind. So if you wouldn't mind some kind of official script so that they feel more comfortable coming into South Harbor.
Of course. I'll have something written up. In the meantime, I will I'll look for a chef. And
Alright.
once I have everything put together, I will send for you, I guess.
You can always advertise. You can always advertise with the criers. That's the reason why the criers actually.
He already does advertise with the Criers. That's how you found him.
How many Tide Reavers chairs do we have? Just 3, right?
3.
And so each of us have one. Okay. I've got
Okay.
the stuff handled. I
Oh,
have
good.
one. Myetharia has one, and I think this one.
This
I
will,
will sign that.
I'll let you know once I have everything written up and put together. And in the meantime, yeah.
Well,
Wonderful.
Magistrate,
All sounds great.
Magistrate
That's
Lord, I'm sure you are well aware, but within 2 days, we've been able to take care of the arson problem and take care of the trading problem. So if you wouldn't mind just to let our friends know, or anyone that you appreciate and know, someone who knows quality, we are the protectors of the pass, and we're here to help.
You haven't wrapped this up completely just yet, but you do have my respect. I will definitely admit that.
Well, it is much appreciated.
Yes.
And there was some discussion of reward taking care of the trading problem, yes?
Once completed, yes.
Sure.
Of course.
So, once all the paperwork is drawn up, we will make our way back to the goblins and deliver the good news, and we'll report back to you.
And once we have the map in hand that we can give to our caravans, then you shall get your reward.
Right.
Perfect.
Deal.
Excellent. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Well, we shall return forthwith, map in hand.
He gives you a 2-clap, pat on the back, says, well, I have much to get done today before the council meeting. I wish you the best.
Yes. Thank you.
Maybe we will see you there.
Oh, well, if you attend, you shall.
Okay.
All right.
I don't have anything else.
Head back out then into the rain.
What time
And
is
you guys? It's not that late. It's like 10. You guys got a few hours if you want to get something done. Do you have something in mind?
Should we try to tie up loose ends with these witches? Maybe try and snag ourselves a necklace.
Nelabecus?
Nelabecus.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say necklace. Maybe we get a necklace?
Maybe? Where it's nicely.
If we think we have time, it could be a asking around and sort of stakeout situation, and we do have this meeting that we should attend if we are available.
Winry has disguised. She could disguise her. Wish she could disguise herself as one of the witches. The rest of us set up kind of a perimeter of sorts in the South Harbor. Might not take us long for our perp to show up.
So one, do we think the witches would show up as themselves in South Harbor? They didn't look too welcoming. And two, was there anything that you wanted to roleplay, Ryan, with getting my armor? Or did we just want to get it?
Oh. I'll pay for it. We'll do a little, like, whoever can toss Hathor the coin first. And I remembered his name. I think I'm the one who got him. So, yeah, I'll get him the coin.
Oh, don't even play that. You're always going to first.
Yeah, right. Hathor Fellmallet.
I think we should both throw money and then Justin should roll a dex save to see who's he.
They collide in midair.
Explode in coin.
No, I will graciously let Rayland pay for it.
All right, so we'll pick up your armor
Okay,
Before-
that's check.
before we meet back up with Jack. I didn't really
The
have
armor,
it play.
for what it's worth, is much better fitting now. It is no longer this awkward hand-me-down looking armor that doesn't fit properly, that's made for someone who's like much larger in the shoulders and stockier than you are. He's slimmed it down so that it is properly fitting. It's well buffed, well shined, so that it looks like new armor now at this point in time, as opposed to something that is a relic from a past life.
Shows off your curves.
And before I had asked for any, like...
It's like the traditional RPG woman's armor that has the nice
It's a bikini
plates.
But all of my body is protected. Even though it's only that. So I think
That's-
before her, I had asked for any extra like links or anything just to be made into like chains that I can give to my brother and my sister eventually. And then Rayland, this is truly the most perfect gift I've ever received. It's still my father's, but it's me now, and it's something that can be passed along and added to, and I have the extra links, and thank you, Rayland.
Yeah. Imagine it.
I'm like listening, trying not to, but like my ears are perked.
They're hanging out,
Seem like twitching a little bit. Yeah, the one is turned sideways to listen.
She's just staring at some opposite wall, but
You look good.
Okay, that's all. Thank you. She's visibly like giddy and
what did you
wiggling
say?
about.
What did you say, Ryan?
Oh, I just said you look good. You look good.
Like, ooh, I look good. I got a new dress.
Except it's armor.
Yeah. With that mentality.
Yeah. There's something else though. So how
So
much
do we
money?
want? Oh yeah, do you want to split that money up between us or what?
I'll just keep track of it because y'all ain't keeping track of anything. Just putting it in threads and shit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could tell us how much money we
I
each
think-
got, and then we could add.
I think we should keep it to. Well, he said we weren't gonna go with the magical items. So
Right.
yeah, I can divide. So just hold up.
In the meantime,
Do that after this session tonight. But I was just gonna ask how much money did it cost to finish up the armor? Oh, also, this is actually I remembered what I was gonna do. So we give him back Hathor back the loaned armor.
Oh yeah,
The-
covered in hags, gunk, and
You
dead.
Say anything about it or
I was going to imagine that, like you keep your personal armor in relative cleanliness, that
Yeah.
Bryn would not try to return the armor like soddened and stained and disgusting, coated in blood or anything. That she, left it out a
While
little
I'm
bit
flying
to
back
drip
on the bird.
clean.
While rubbing it down.
Yeah.
doesn't have any like serious like marks or damage or anything like stab wounds or whatever. I guess not. Like
It was loner armor on purpose, so it served its purpose, and it is still within the realm of loner armor without a problem.
okay,
the mechanic doesn't give you a Corvette as a loaner; it gives you a Hyundai.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well,
Rude, by the way. I drive a Hyundai.
And it's not a Corvette.
do you ever drive a Elantra around?
Accent.
Smaller. The baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not the family car. That's the
Yeah.
personal good gas mileage car for distance driving.
Hear you, man. I'm gonna get myself a Prius. So what's the gold you said? I
That's
owe?
how much we have left.
No,
that you
no.
owe.
I'm paying to the armor.
Oh, I'd have to look it up. I don't know that I have it written down, but I feel like it was like 10 gold at the end as well. It was like 10 up front, 10 at the end. But I can verify that if you would like me to.
Cool. 10 is 10. So, okay, if there's time after we meet up with Jack, I would suggest that we go down to South Harbor and hang out at the fish market. Set up a perimeter around the fish market, have Winry disguise self as let's go with the druid. I think that's the good call. He was the most
Not the like the head witch.
I would not go with the head witch because she looked kind of weird, and I think if you disguise yourself as her, you would like draw attention to yourself. But the other was just a brunette, right? Just like a semi-normal looking brunette lady, right?
So don't do the leader, and not the one that's seeping stuff, but the other one.
Yeah, I could do the. Wasn't the leader the one that was seeping stuff?
Yeah, she
That was
was.
the one who talked, yes.
I could just be her without the seeping stuff. Didn't she look kind of normal without that?
I think Ryan's thinking is that the leader probably wouldn't be the one to do the talking.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Right.
think it's either the druid. I don't think it would be the younger one either, but that's just a guess. It could also be the younger one. Didn't she look kind of weird too, Justin?
Which one?
The younger witch.
The druid or the wizard?
There was a wizard witch. Yeah.
The wizard
You-
was kind of, not terribly weird. Chubby faced, short brown hair, more youthful, but
That's
kind
probably
of
the one.
feeble.
I still think it's the druid lady. Personally, I would if I was her, I'd dress up as the druid lady and or just disguise self. You probably don't even have to like dress up, but just disguise self and see if you can't attract this.
Well, Winry, are you okay with doing this? Being our bait?
if you guys are nearby, I don't really need to say anything, right? I just have to take the. Should I do one orb?
take the orb
One of
with you.
just
Take
one
the-
of them?
Take the orb with you, and with any luck, he'll expose himself, and we can move in quickly and apprehend him.
Okay.
I could have Puck right on your shoulder, and then keep an eye on you and make sure nothing untoward happens.
We'll all be nearby. We'll just have to
Yes,
act nonchalant.
Yes, I was just about to say
Okay.
that.
And then with the
Okay.
crowd, like we're there for a reason. This is going to be a crowded. This is going to be a crowded seaport, right? Justin?
Relatively, yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be a open area with people in it. We should be able to hide in plain sight.
Okay.
What if he asks for a password?
If he
Make it
had-
up.
Yeah, it's our
There
password.
can't be like a. Yeah.
Well,
I
hopefully
mean,
we'll
I
moved
have
in by
have
that
the
point.
orb.
Right.
If he asks for a password, punch him in the face.
Okay.
Best
Move in.
password.
He has a good point.
Got 5 passwords for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I also have a way to encourage him to be more truthful with us today if we need him to be.
What time is it when we meet up with Jack again?
Like a hot knife.
About 10, give or take.
Zone of truth.
How long of a trip is it to the seaport?
It's about 15-ish minutes each direction. So you
Okay.
got a couple of hours that you could spend there.
Yeah, I think let's go down there. That's what I think we should do it before the meeting. Maybe we could even drag this. We could even drag this boy into the meeting. Now that would be. That would be.
That'd be a gangster move.
Yeah. Go ahead, Go ahead, Nebulus. Tell them about your
Keep
nefarious
trying,
plan.
right?
Go ahead, Ned.
It's got an N in there somewhere.
Nelabecus.
Nelabecus. All right, sure. I'm game. Let's go.
Okay, so Winry, what's the plan exactly?
I'm going to turn into the druid,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hold the orb in my hand. How big is it?
Like
That big.
orange size, roughly.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe a
gonna
little
hold it in
smaller.
my hand and just walk along the fish market.
Okay.
The rest of us, actually, you should probably just stay put. The rest of us are going to fan out around you. That's what I would do. Although, no, if you move, we'll just move with you.
Yeah.
Bryn's gonna look real awkward while doing it, trying not to be awkward.
But you
Bryn,
look so good.
She's strutting.
The rest of you, please, quick, make a stealth check, everyone.
Oi.
Oh no.
I will tell Bryn, you look great in that armor, and give her bardic inspiration.
Oh, thanks.
It's a
What did you
D8.
ask for? Stealth?
Stealth check, please. Yes.
Okay. 10.
That's bad.
Why
I
can't I
can't.
scroll down?
17 for me.
Oh,
Dice do not like to roll well unless they want to.
and I can add what?
D8.
Wow. What a
I
what a
know.
statement that is.
You know what?
So
It
true,
only
though.
lasts for a minute, so.
Oh, yeah.
Life needs things to
Nice. Wow.
Life needs things to live.
22 for me.
Life needs things to live.
2-2.
14. You could tell it's probably the worst stealth roll I've had in a while. You can tell that Rayland he's trying his best to blend in with the crowd, to look at wares as he goes along, but his eyes stray over to Winry dressed as the Druid a little bit too often.
I would say that Bryn with her 22 is so tickled with her new armor that she's just taking on a new persona and just
The Mission
blending
Impossible
in.
is playing in her head. Doo-doo.
Are there guys that are like noticing her and
Like, it's not even a matter of being stealth, it's a matter of, like, she's a completely different person and doesn't, not even paying attention to Winry.
She's like posing instead.
I bet
Standing in really awkward positions.
I bet some dudes are giving her a once over.
Yeah. Looking over
I
the
bet,
shoulder.
I bet it feels pretty good for Bryn.
Little extra shade.
Well, Winry, you walk around this area, what you might think is a kind of a fish market area, with the tear in your hand, and you get a lot of weird looks because you are dripping blood as you're carrying it.
Yeah, because the
Defective
forgot about that.
So everyone's kind of
I
like,
guess all of us are technically.
what is happening?
I'm gonna put it in my.
No, the rest of you are not, because you need to actually be holding it in order for the effect to happen. And also
I'm
for
gonna-
the benefit to happen as well.
Put it back in my bag when people look at me weird.
Well, you did get a lot of interesting looks at first, and for the rest of the time, you spend the next couple of hours kind of strolling and sitting around this area, still kind of picking up a little bit of interest because you're just kind of someone who's not normally there, this sort of thing. But beyond that, no one seems to approach you. Nothing seems to happen as you go through this initial round of
As we were there,
stakeout.
we see anybody also note.
Serious.
There's a number of people that notice her.
I know. Yeah.
It's definitely a weird sight, especially at first when there's a little bit of buzz that happened because of the weird dripping blood that didn't leave blood stains or smears or anything on the ground. So there's a little bit of talk that immediately happens afterwards, and it kind of gets word of mouth around after that. Outside of that, nothing that you pick up on that is out of the ordinary from what you would have expected. There's definitely some talk about what's that person doing sitting over there. They've been sitting there for the last hour not doing anything kind of thing. But nobody seems to be paying her that much extra attention. Nobody's paying, like going out of their way to watch over or like hanging around the area, things like this. It seems like normal market for the most part from what you can tell.
Is there a shopkeep or a bartender or something that can kind of see where she's at?
I mean, she just chose a random spot. She didn't choose anything in particular. The note that you guys have is very vague.
So is there someone who seems to be... I'm looking for someone
Unusual.
knowledgeable to talk to.
You can try to talk to someone if you would like to. Just make an investigation check in general.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll first. Hey, natural 19. Plus 5, 24.
Very nice. You do a little bit of talking around, finding people as much as you can that seem to be in the area quite often and doing some discussions. What would you like to know?
So I just actually want to approach someone and be like, excuse, I'm gonna use the cloak of many fashions to make me look kind of like maybe like a local down on his luck artisan, just kind of like robes and like dark and maybe frayed a little bit. I'm gonna walk up to someone and be like, excuse me, this terrifying creature over here is frightening my children. She's asking for someone named shit. I forgot his name already.
You were doing Ryan crap and now you can't do it.
Nelabekis? Do you know anyone named that? Anyone that might associate with that so we can get rid of her?
Guy just kind of shakes his head and says, never heard the name before in my life.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
It's
Terrible.
You've never met this man before in your life, but you have no reason to suspect him lying.
I'll give him like a serious, like squinty-eyed look, and I'll just walk away.
He kind of gives you a scrunched face, shake of the head, whatever. And he just moves on, continuing his work.
Well, we gave it a shot, everybody. Can try again tomorrow, maybe.
Well, the note did say once a week, so perhaps they already came once this week.
Maybe.
Try
Maybe-
again every day.
Maybe tomorrow I can go deliver the news to the goblins and you guys can do another stakeout.
No, I think we should all be here to stake out. So we'll just meet sometime next week. Either we do it tomorrow or we wait another day. I think this is going to be a long-term project.
Okay.
Possible, yes.
Well, in the
Get some
meantime-
lunch and go to the meeting.
I'm gonna buy a fish.
No,
you
You want
guessed.
to name a fish market shop here, Ryan?
no place we can get a fish.
What you got, buddy?
Can I do one?
Sure, go for it, Jack.
Gaily.
Gills Fishmongers.
Gills. We already have a gill.
Oh, do we? Oh, Gilver. But gill, because fish have gills. Finn's
Why did-
Fishmongers.
Why is Gil like your go-to NPC name too? I feel like there's one in your backstory.
I was gonna go to Steven's Slammin' Salmons. but-
Steven Slammin' Salmons.
I'm there.
I'm taking that.
So we got the gills. Sorry.
So you go to the local fishmonger, also known as Steven's Slammin' Salmons, where you guys enjoy a hearty lunch of fish and chips. We can have chips too.
Potatoes.
After you're done with lunch,
Fried.
Jack's
potato.
like, I don't like potatoes.
You don't like potatoes.
No,
Yeah, he's
I'm
a
a weird person.
He's a noble boy. He's probably never had potato in his life.
Yes, those
What are
royals.
these?
Those royals,
What are
they
these
don't like
tubers?
root vegetables. Those nobles don't like root vegetables.
Doesn't know how to
So
eat
I've
like a
heard.
Nobles? I thought Jack was, I thought he was with a traveling, troop.
No.
You didn't really have to say that if you didn't want to.
I thought that he had said something. If he hasn't
No,
said
no.
something,
They
I
only
thought
form
that
at-
you had said
they only
something.
form at the fancy parties.
No, I am noble born.
Oh,
My family is highborn.
And they were circus people as well?
So
circus animals.
for half the year, my family would spend time in court and look to our many businesses that supported our lifestyle. And then the other half of the year, leading up to the new year, leading up to the festival in Gates Pass, we would travel the countryside headed towards Gate Pass and perform in the small villages and towns that wouldn't be able to afford such a show. And we didn't charge them anything, we just
Interesting.
did it for fun.
I'm sure I'm gonna have more questions for you later, but right now I need to go calm a baby down.
Oh,
unlucky
I thought you said
timing.
now I have to go home.
Mm,
Oh, I need to go home. Bye.
I need to go straighten my hair.
In my defense, I am 100% positive that has been let slip.
I feel like
Either-
it's been mentioned offhandedly
either-
before
Yeah.
Yeah, either when we were on the water.
I don't care.
Captain, or I know. I just feel like
I told you guys
myself.
I told you guys I'm an open book now. I just need to get far enough away from Gates Pass that you guys wouldn't. Oh, fuck. Just need to get far enough away from Gate Pass so you guys wouldn't send me back.
You don't know what game we're playing.
Well, as you guys are heading back up the road towards the northern part of Seaquen, the main town, and towards Lyceum proper, the daily town crier...
What is going on behind you?
An alien invasion.
Who?
Your room just lit up behind you. Oh, Cassie must turn like kitchen light on or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
You open the refrigerator.
Like,
Those LED lights.
damn.
It's the bathroom door.
Every time you open the fridge, it's like Indiana Jones. You're like, ah!
Little Sammy.
Well-
Little Sammy at 1 o'clock.
Sando.
The daily town crier goes past, bringing you the day's news.
Oh yeah.
No.
Seeking cook for a goblin.
No.
Not yet. They're not quite that fast.
It should be.
It says, hundreds of mages taken in Scourge. Any information on whereabouts or safety sought by Lyceum. The Royale next competitions on 28th of Calorie. Bring weapons and a thirst. And adventurers wanted to secure missing cargo. Seek Bonneman Vet at Lyceum for details and reward.
Secure missing cargo.
Those are your 3 notes of interest for today as you travel the rest of the path back and find yourself at Lyceum once more.
Jack might need to wait. Jack might need to wait to go back to the goblins after we get a cook. Or it might be another day until he goes.
Yeah.
It is. Yes.
And it's also 15 to 20 miles, and they don't want to take a bird.
Yeah, it's gonna take a day to walk there, so just need to dedicate a day to it.
Try and get that Nicholas guy. Nella Becca's. What do you need me to do? Rebecca's here.
Yep, I saw her. Do you need me to wait a second?
Hey, Becca.
She just needed to grab my credit card. I have no idea what's happening now.
Ooh.
Oh. Just,
Someone take a screenshot.
Quick,
take a
take it,
screenshot,
yeah,
quick. Enhance.
Oh yeah, she can't hear you, but they're all laughing. They're all.
We're all laughing at her.
But
Well.
I think you're making jokes. You're having fun. Okay.
Okay. So, is it
Hold on, I'm
meeting
waiting.
time?
Waiting a
No.
second.
Oh.
Regardless, we should probably wait for Cassie for meeting time.
You're waiting on me. Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
Those die didn't even roll that good.
Holy crap.
He knocked over my tower, so I mixed up his dice.
I see.
Wow.
You all good, Ryan?
All good.
Okay.
It was this one because it's still 1.
As you arrive back to Lyceum then, you watch as the dignitaries or prominent people, whatever you want to call them, kind of arriving 1 by 1, 2 by 2 sort of thing through the constant drizzle. Polite students greet you as well as them at the entrance to the Arad Tower, their eyes glowing blue as they dry off the visitors with prestidigitation spells. The next wave also has 2 students who stand by watching they appear to be concentrating on something, and they have a silvery paste that's been rubbed across or around their eyes glowing with a soft golden light. You watch as a few people, as they go through the line, get kind of brought aside or get asked questions as they're coming up. And indeed, when you get brought up as well, or when you come up next, they do ask you a few momentary questions. Things of the nature of, what are these magic items that you're bringing in? What is, all this sort of stuff. So each magic item that you have carrying with you, you will be expected to explain what it is, what it does, and how it functions to these people.
I pull out my diviner and I'm like, well, Beck, 19 months ago. I started work
Oh
on
my
this control,
gosh.
and I just go off and just talk about my diviner for like 15 minutes.
They kind of hurry and usher you through as best that they can, making it through. But they do provide a reasonable modicum of security here, where they are confiscating a handful of items that they consider to be dangerous magical items from people, or at least concerning ones. Kind of like a coat check service, almost in a way. But without anything that's too concerning with any of you, you're allowed to keep your weapons at this moment in time.
And they have to like push me along while I'm still like, but then I added this part to make this frequency a little bit stronger, and I thought, oh, okay.
I just grab his.
You're escorted
along.
inside. You're escorted inside and along to a 5th floor lecture hall with a vast curving window that looks out across the harbor. With a vast curving window that looks out across the harbor.
One more time.
After I was doing it for Ryan, who dropped.
Was it
and
Lord
rejoined.
Vor? What was it? One more time.
Lord.
Board.
We'll break him yet, team.
After a handful of minutes, as people arrive and you guys kind of gather up together, Simeon appears and ushers everyone to an adjacent classroom that resembles an operating theater. A comfortable yet small area for discussion, surrounded by balconies where students would normally look down and watch an instructor demonstrate the intricacies of a particular spell. The room is well lit, and the head of the War Department, Kiernan Steckert, comes forward first, places a short stone rod carved of veiny black stone on the table in the center of the room. Assure you all, none can endanger you here, as long as you remain within 20 feet of the rod. He clicks something almost on the side of it as he sets it down, and then steps back to the side of the room, where a shield guardian that looks like a gnarled stone treant stands guard.
Marcus.
Aside from you all, the War Council is attended by a handful of people. You recognize Simeon, of course, and Kiernan Steckert. You also recognize Lorb, Lee Sideneth. The Wayfarer representative is Giorgio, plus a handful of what appears to be ambassadors of various places. The more noble-inclined members of you can recognize the symbols of Dassen, Sindare, and Ostalin, as they each have an ambassador as a representative at this meeting.
I do my best to shoot Giorgio a dirty look.
Is there... I wouldn't know, so never mind.
There's also what appears to be a woman who's dressed in some sort of an armor that looks... She's got a kind of bold-looking nose. She kind of resembles almost like a bird to you in a certain way. And then there's also a dwarven man who wears what you would associate with Desceni clothes, though he does not appear to have any official regalia. Finally, you have Torrent, who also is at the meeting, and surprisingly, sitting with her at this meeting, that she seems to have brought with, is actually Katrina.
Do we have, shoot, I always forget his name. The elf that we picked up in the Fire Forest.
Oh, yeah, is he here?
Daishan is not going to be at this meeting directly, no.
Can we retcon and go get him, though? I think he's important to have at this meeting.
No,
We
because
left
he is
him.
not with you anymore.
We left him with Simeon.
We did.
Yep.
So if
it's up to
Simeon doesn't think he's
yeah,
important.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Is Mr.
Can we wreck?
Is Mr. Ming there?
There's a handful of other teachers. Let me think. No, actually, I think I've said everyone that's there. No, he is not. In fact,
Can
the
we
only teachers, so to speak, or Lyceum instructors is Simeon and Kiernan.
All right, go ahead. The retcon.
What are you trying to retcon now?
Can we have tried to find Kristen in South Harbor to bring her with us because her prophecies might carry some weight in this conversation? Nah, you know what? No one's going to take it seriously. It's fine.
That's good, though.
With with everyone present,
idea.
Simeon encourages you all to sit while he remains standing to present an introduction. He's dressed casually, folksy, kind of, in a common vest and work pants, similar to how you saw him before. And he introduces everyone, says, "Ladies and gentlemen, you'll pardon me if I am brief. Our enemies are many, and we know their eyes are constantly watching. We don't have much time for this meeting, so even though I encourage each and every one of us to have our time to speak, I need to ask that we not get too bogged down in discussions of minutiae and other small things. We have a great task ahead of us, a task that we do not do simply to protect ourselves, but to save the lives of all our families, brothers, and sisters. The new emperor of Regesia, Leska, who proudly calls herself the Supreme Inquisitor, has set her armies to conquer all our nations. Everyone is in danger, from lowliest warrior to mightiest mage. I have vowed as my duty that I will fight against this scourge from Regesia, but I don't know much about running a war. What I do know is that we all have knowledge and skills that will be valuable in this fight. I hope that you will trust me to lead this fight against tyranny, and I will trust you to give me your best wisdom and aid so that we may be victorious. Our goal is to stop the scourge, to drive back the armies of the Regesian Empire, to dethrone Leska, and to ensure our families and homelands are safe. Now, I expect that you all have some ideas on how to do that, among other things around town. My ears are open." Simeon then sits and directs each of the visitors to kind of speak in turn. In the meantime, Kiernan Steckert remains kind of vigilant and on the side. He appears to be in more of a oversight sort of role in this whole situation, making sure that everyone gets their time to speak and it is civil and no undue fighting breaks out or anything like this. The first person who is called forward is actually Magistrate Lord Vortbird. You're welcome. And he reads off initially what is effectively a long list of grievances against the refugees, who he says are bringing chaos and crime into the town. Ever since they've begun to appear like worms after a rain, goods have gone missing, homes broken into. We don't know where their loyalties lie, or what they may be capable of doing. What we need to do is to bring in more able-bodied refugees for a broader force, and question the lot of them, individually, to discern who should stay free, and who is rejected or locked up. There's a little bit of a follow-up discussion that occurs, as it seems like especially the female who we've yet to meet at this point in time seems agitated by this, though she holds her tongue for the time being. Oh, your daughter is a problem case tonight for like the first night in a week, or of course she would
tough cookies, kid. This is important.
And having met Lee Sideneth, he is actually the next one who speaks up. You know him as he is in charge of the security of the harbor and naval affairs, this sort of thing. Says, well, to build on what the magistrate has brought, North Harbor is fuller than a can of fish. New ships are being routed to South Harbor, and even there we don't have docks for them. I do think it is probably for the best that they are not all be secured. Best to be able to move quickly in case of an attack, but with more coming in seemingly daily, I think we need to wait, build our strength, rather than rushing into anything right now. There's too much to organize and figure out to be picking up more new projects. As he sits down, sorry, his general approach there being kind of to hold off and wait. As he sits down, he kind of sneers a little bit to himself, and the more acute of hearing of the bunch of you guys can kind of make out him saying to himself and to his nearby neighbors. There might be some warmongers who disagree with me, but more motivated by a flow of gold than any safety. Kind of talking more to himself.
That was Lee.
That was. So I'm not going to go too insane in this. I'm going to kind of step out of character here a moment. I could see myself writing like a 12-person script to go through for like the next 45 minutes or anything.
By yourself.
I'm going to kind of give you the high level as much as I can with a little brief snippet of what each person talks about.
This is exactly what we were looking for. Justin
Hopefully.
playing with himself. I want the full version, not the director's cut, please.
I really
Not
liked
the
it.
abridged version.
I liked Lee's accent a lot. It was really nice.
I
That was
missed
like-
Lee's accent.
It was like a subtle difference between
What was
like
the word we used? What was the word Justin used to describe it?
Little twang. Little
No.
southern
Oh,
drawl.
There was a very specific word. Oh well.
it was very nice. Justin, go ahead and give us the breakdown.
The next man who speaks is a older dwarven man, another one of the ones that you guys have not met or anything of this. His brief things is about wanting Seaquen to kind of reach out, branch out, and find alliances. It says, in war, there are two things that trump any other advantage: alliances and innovative technology. Adding to this is the most important quality in life: timeliness. I put forth two ideas. Seaquen must forge alliances with any nation willing to stand against Ragesia now. By sharing some of our strength with allies, that of magical resources, we can help them stand now so that they can stand with us later. It has the added benefit of reinforcing our allies against betrayal as well. Secondly, we must find the torch of the burning sky. I believe Leska is already searching for it. You all have seen how widely her armies are spread, with no hope to hold lands. They are searching. I have a group in mind. Served with them in Das, and with the support of a few mages, they could go anywhere and do anything to find it. To both ends, we must contact King Steppengard of Dassen. His ideas are reasonably well met, and they kind of give a quick discussion or like a quick overview of what he might consider next. You pick out his name to be Xavius Fobane, and you also note that he was a retired commander from Dassen in the past. So his past life, so to speak, could be used in theory, at least this is what Simeon postures, as a bridge in order to get in with King Steppengard of Dassen, or at least to know a little bit more about it, so that they might be able to forge more meaningful alliances. The next one who speaks is the Holy Warrior, the woman who you've not met before. She introduces herself as Laura Beck Adelsberg. And she's less concerned with military matters and more worried about the thousands of refugees coming to Seaquen to make a difference in the war that might tear themselves apart. As she says, military matters do not concern me. They'll take weeks to plan and longer to have any effect. What does concern me is the plight of those in the camps. They came here in search of a better life, one where they would not be persecuted, but instead a help to a greater cause. Instead, they have been met with closed minds and closed hearts, and it is tearing them apart. It is clear that Ragesia is partly to blame, of course. The Arinyas attack just the other day proves how long their reach is. But just as many problems are of our own poor management. Inadequate food, water, and shelter are larger problems than any army may pose. Religious and cultural differences sow discord among the factions, and instead of assistance, Seaquen and Lyceum view these vital allies searching for safety as outsiders and pawns. Not only this, but some even here are looking for ways to profit from this war instead. Magistrate Vortbird stands up suddenly, interrupting her there, and says, "That is enough! Stop coddling them! They're potentially hostiles until proven otherwise. Stricter laws will do more to get things under control than any amount of honey you wish to slather on." Simeon holds up his hands, says, in a placating gesture, "We've heard what you have to say, Laura Beck. Thank you. For the moment."
She was.
What?
No, go ahead. I'll ask after Sidneth or Simeon. Is it Simeon?
For Simeon.
Yeah, Simeon.
For the moment, I lean towards Vortbird given his experience, though I do not wish to devote Lyceum students when they could be training for war.
Is Beck with the Aquiline Heart?
It is possible. Let me. I can verify just to make sure. I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, you didn't tell us much more about her, right? Like, we don't know who she is, really?
You've never met her before. She is a new character for you. It is reasonably possible, though, that she might be. She doesn't wear anything obvious that states that she would be, but it wouldn't be out of the ordinary.
Fair enough.
The next to approach is the flamboyant wayfarer, who walks slowly around the table, and he kind of thumps his staff on the floor with every stride as he simmers with enthusiasm. As you may know, teleportation magic is a danger currently. Any who teleport a distance arrive in flames. So far, through experimentation, we have been able to determine that short-ranged teleportation, while affected, is not deadly. Though the further distances, the more deadly it becomes. Few daring wayfarers, defended with fire resistance, tried teleporting. While slightly singed, ranges of up to 100 feet or so were possible. Though the one who went further, teleporting a couple of miles, did not return. It first started occurring on the day that Emperor Coaltongue was allegedly assassinated. And since then, we have implemented a strict ban on teleportation. Since that day, however, we have been working on a solution to this problem. But until we are able to safely provide transport again, it will remain banned. Imagine possibilities once we are successful once again. Unrivaled mobility. If only the Cirque were willing to violate its long-standing neutrality. Giorgio pauses. The Cirque. The Wayfarers.
Oh.
Giorgio pauses for dramatic effect as he looks each person in the eyes around the room before continuing with a smile. Well, Guild Mistress Sheena Larkins is willing to do just that. If, and only if, Lyceum can prove it has a legitimate chance to defeat Regesia. We will stay abreast of events as they unfold, and hope to be of service again more in the future. Before sitting down, Giorgio then produces a handful of papers, what look to be small little paper stubs, and he says, "These are tickets for a performance in 2 weeks of the spectacular trial of Topeth Topek, which you've no doubt heard will be premiering at the Wayfarers Theatre in a few days. Though there will be other performances before the night of your tickets, the ageless beauty that is Guild Mistress Larkins wants to be certain we have everything perfect before we show it to you, the city's most respected citizens, and those dignitaries visiting from similarly respected nations. Think of the symbol it will be for all of you to attend the show. I dare say it will be wholly disastrous to morale if even one of you fails to attend." With a bow and a flourish, Giorgio takes his seat once more.
Rob loves this guy. Jack hates this guy.
You guys should all note in your inventories that you also all possess a ticket to this show.
Can I do an insight on him? Is there anything sketchy about what he said? Anything?
Absolutely, you can.
All of
Like a
it.
trap.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to roll
All
real
gonna
high.
die.
Yeah, for real.
Same
That's
vibes
all
as the execution, man. You all have to be there. Not one
What
of
do
you.
You can roll an insight if you'd like to.
All right, come on. 16.
9.
He is practiced in his delivery. It feels like something that he has been prepping for the last week. Just for this event. And he is fully enraptured, fully engaged in his performance. That's as much as you can really pick out. The next person who then stands to speak is actually Torrent, as she steps forward. She says, "I don't have a lot to say, but I have had the honor of traveling with, perhaps even rescued by, a group that has come with vital military intelligence straight from Ragos. The Protectors of the Pass," and she motions towards you, "bound by a mission from the Resistance in Gate Pass, took a case meant for Pepin Tallman and delivered its contents to its destination. Here. On their way, hounded by Regessian dogs every step, they were victorious over a Regessian Inquisitor and have been a thorn in the side
Demons.
of the Empire throughout.
Demons.
So much so, the Inquisitors have sent at least 2 expensive children of hell to track them down.
3, actually.
I said at least 2. They rescued refugees, worked with Lyceum agents, survived the fire forest of Inetadar, crossed half the continent, and last night defeated the Swamp Sisters Ha-Andrea. Seems she's up on her knowledge.
Definitely so.
And while within the town, they have also worked with Magistrate in order to stop a string of fires and determine their root cause. Did I miss anything else that your wondrous group has done? She kind of offers towards you.
We're brokering a possible peace deal with the ones that are causing the caravans to go missing.
Goblins.
As you can tell, an invaluable resource for all, but especially for this meeting. They've also just now rescued who I have brought with me here. Katrina, her name is. And she
Oh, that's how she knows.
is a potential valuable ally as well. Katrina, if you would. Katrina steps forward and says, Thank you, Torn. Of course. I, myself, have recently spoken to my brother. His name is Rantel, via a sending spell. She gives a little bit of a smile and a little bit of a face towards Bryn as she says this. He's a vital member of the Resistance in Gate Pass and could be a valuable cog for future communication and activity against the Empire. We have much to offer and much to discuss in regards to the present and future of this effort. Please, allow me time to bring my contacts and intelligence to bear for us all. She gives a bow and a curtsy together towards Simeon as she retakes her seat. Oh, Cassie. We're trying to rush through the next ones to get to the end. The next is a tall, blonde human who steps up next, his uniform clearly showing himself to be an ambassador from Dassen. As he speaks, his nasal voice carries surprisingly well in the quiet that his words bring. King Steppengard, first of his name, holder of the Book of 8 Lands, uniter of Dassen, sends his warm regards to the neighbors to the south. He wishes it to be known that he is displeased that Seaqen's rallying call has brought so many refugees to and through his lands, making his kingdom weaker and a target for Regessia. While he is not above lending support if there is a legitimate reason, King Steppengard is seeking to make a pact of neutrality with the kingdom of Regessia. He wishes you good favor in your endeavors. Simeon stands up and speaks into the silence that follows his speech. Says, Ambassador Numhout, we will speak later on this. I have information copious amounts that makes clear Regesia will accept no neutrality. But that is a conversation for privacy. I thank you. Takes his seat once more. An aged gnome from Sindare, given his introduction, stands up on his chair next in order to be well seen. As he speaks, he rubs his hands as though unsure of himself. Well, the people of Sindare would like to resist Regesia, but officially we cannot pledge support publicly to Seaquen at this time and risk drawing Regesian ire. While we wish for their removal from our lands, current events make it impossible to take such a risk. If perhaps you could defeat Regesia in a notable battle, it might be enough to make a difference in drawing eyes and support to your banners from Sindare. On a more interesting note, and to build on something previously mentioned, I am confident that I do know where the Torch of the Burning Sky resides.
Wow.
The issue is that its location is currently impossible to reach. The evening that the old dragon was slain, a storm of fire opened up in the skies above the late Emperor's castle, a place called Korstal, with a T. A canyon in a broad field in Sindare. Now, everything there is dead, burned by months of searing rain. Sometimes the dead wander out of the castle, or of the storm, excuse me. I don't know how anyone could have gotten into that firestorm to retrieve the torch, nor do I know how you would expect to either, but there you have it. Slender, and with sharpened black fingernails and voluminous robes that probably conceal weapons, the half-elf ambassador of Ostalin speaks up. She says, with a sarcastic and self-important air, the inestimable Kagan Anamdaman, generous monarch of Ostalin, deeply regrets that his neighbors might be endangered by the Regesian armies, but is willing to lend his elite, fierce armies if his neighbors are reasonable. Regesia intends to conquer your entire nation. Would it not be reasonable to trade us 1/3 of your land so that you may keep the rest from the greedy, cruel Regesians? She speaks with a seriousness that is surprising, given the bluntness of her words. And as she sits, a heated bout of bickering among the ambassadors and notable townsfolk flares up. There are shouts of flaming mercenaries and money grubbers from the group while the ambassador smiles, clearly pleased with herself. At this point, as discussions are getting a little bit heated, the door to the classroom swings open, and a human steps in, but is hurled back out of the room instantly. The thrum of a telekinetic thrust shakes the room as Kiernan's hands are raised from recent spellcasting. Simeon looks at Kiernan in shock. Says, "That was Johunt who just attacked." Kiernan shrugs, says, "Just being safe." He replies. When the shaken Johunt is brought back into the room, he frantically speaks that there is a group of elves that have flown over the walls and are headed up the tower right now. There are 7, he says, and they carry the flag of Shahalesti, a revelation which causes another uproar in the room. Simeon calls for calm, saying the diplomats should meet their new guests politely, but that at the same time, everyone should be ready for a fight. At that, he stands and leads everyone into the adjacent lecture hall, just as the Shahalesti envoy enters on the far side. All the elves are dressed in silver armor and blue cloaks, and stand tall and bright with straight blonde hair and straight swords at their hips. Their leader is a pristinely beautiful elf woman, whose eyes shine like the sun on the bluest sea. 2 men stand close to her like bodyguards, and one in the center holds a flag ceremoniously, while the rest of the elves watch warily. The Shahalesti leader sees the group pouring out of the classroom and says, I would have waited. I didn't intend to frighten you. Simeon takes charge and says, "Who are you? Why are you here?" "I am Shalosha, daughter of the Shining Lord Shaladal of Shahalesti. I have come to offer an alliance with Seaquen against Regesia."
What is Myetharia's reaction as she showed some interest in Shalosha in a previous conversation?
I guess roll an insight check. Because
She hesitates occasionally. It seems almost like a memorized speech in a way. As she goes off, says, "I come with an offer of safety and salvation for Seaquen and those who shelter here. As you know, Shahalesti is the shining jewel of civilization, and now we are attacked by the armies of Regesia. For every loss we suffer, the progress of all nations suffers. We are the only power strong enough to drive back the fires of Regesia, but even for our greatness, victory is not assured. My father, Lord Shaladal, knows that some of the nations whose ambassadors stand in this very hall would prefer Shahalesti fall, but they don't realize that in doing so, they prefer their own doom. All here must admit that faith in the leaders of other nations is a difficult thing when the only gesture is a few diplomats sent to the banner of Seaquen. Shahalesti sends a fleet. 17 of our ships sail now to the peninsula, surrounding it from all directions to protect it from hostilities. By this, we show our devotion to the fight, and, so my father believes, we prove that it is our nation who should lead this fight. We invite you to join us in the war against Regesia. Many potential allies have found their way to your city, so we have come to meet them here. However, we will not risk betrayal on any scale, nor would it be wise for you to risk it. So we ask that you hand over control of Seaquen to the Shahalesti fleet, so that we may begin checking the purity of your allies' spirit. Admiral Telshanth will serve as provisional governor of Seaquen. At this point, the Desceni ambassador begins shouting his nation's refusal to hand over territory, and within moments, the other ambassadors begin to clamor as well. The Shahalesti offer, it would seem, has not gone over well. Simeon regains control, calming the group down, saying, "I can recognize a threat when I hear one as well. And if Shahalesti wants to form an alliance, they can learn to share just like everyone else. Not going to hand over this town or my people to anyone." Shalosha does not seem surprised by this revelation, but she does break from the script she's prepared to show a little bit of concern. Says, "The Admiral and his orders, and the fleet will remain. Shahalesti will prevent travel by sea into or out of Seaquen. In the meantime, I will speak to my father and seek a compromise, but I fear such things may not be accomplished quickly." As the other ambassadors demand that the elves leave the building, and in order to salvage what negotiations he can, Simeon concedes, asking Shalosha and her retinue to go. As she turns to leave, she gives one more last regard over the two elves, as though she seems like she should recognize them, but is not quite sure.
Two elves
In your party,
in our party.
the only other two full elves that are in the room, says, "Well, we will stay nearby for the time being. If anyone would have any questions they would like to ask in the meantime, we will be around. We wish you a good day."
Where will they be staying?
You can find them for the time being. Otherwise, you'd have to probably go out to the boats if you don't talk to them right away. But that is where we're going to end for tonight's session.